Welcome back to lessons 6 through 10 for level 1. Now we're going to practice some words with the short E sound of eh. We're going to sound them out slowly and then say them fast. Let, let, met, met, net, net, ten, and pen. We're going to use the first sound of G for this one. G, g, at, get, p, at, pet, met, met, ref, ref. Now we're going to do some words with the short I sound of I. It, 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 lit, it, pit. We're going to use the first sound, s, it, sit, it, mit. Notice that even though we have two T's, we only say the T sound once. B, it, bit, b, in, bin, p, in, pin, l, int, lint. Now we will do the short O sound of ah in these words. On, p, and, pond, d, all, doll. Two S's always have the sound of s. Floss, floss, gloss, gloss, loss, loss, in, bin, in, pin, int, lint. Now, beginner readers often have trouble with longer words with more sounds because they forget what they already read. That's fine. If that's the case, just stick with 2 and 3 letter words for now. Let's try some phrases. All, doll, in, pond, pond, doll in pond, man, on, at, pet, man on pet. It's okay to use your finger to trace below the word as you read each sound. At, pet, in, in, bin, on, dog, dog. The G always uses the G sound at the end of a word. Here we have some new sounds. V, 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 k, 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 k. C and K together have the sound of k as well. Let's practice some short words with these new sounds. At, hat, am, ham, and, hand. V, at, that, vat. V, an, van. Add, had. At, at, vat. At, mat. An, an, van. Add, had. Add, mad. Am, ham. Let's try some more words. Duck. Remember, C and K together make one sound of k. Duck. Muck. Muck. Luck. Puck. Dock. Lock. Rock. Sock. Rocks. How are you doing? If these are hard, you can repeat this lesson as many times as needed or go back to an earlier lesson. Don't move on until you can get most of them correct. Remember, C and K together have one sound of k. Rack. Kit. Tack. Sack. Hack. Sick. Kin. Kin means a relative. Kid. Peck. Neck. Here we're going to use the first sound of S. X. Next. Deck. Pig. Lick. Rug. Bug. Dug. Dock. Let's review some short vowel sounds. I, a, a, I, a, How did you do? If you don't know most of these immediately, please go back and review Level 1, Lessons 1 through 5. Now we're going to review Days 5 and 6 sounds. B, S, Z, B. Two S's together just have one sound. S, H, K, G, J. S, G, J. V, G, J. K, B, K. If you had trouble with these, please go back and redo lessons 5 and 6 until they're easy. Here are two new sounds. w, 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 w. Now the letter X has two sounds. The one that is used most of the time is x, like the letter C or a K with an S. At the beginning of a word, it can sound like z. So we will practice both sounds, but until I tell otherwise, I always use the x sound. X, z, x, z, x, z. And when I say always use the x sound, I mean when reading a word. X, z, x, z, x, z, w, w, x, z, w. Let's practice some short words. W, ag, wag. Remember, G always uses its first sound of g at the end of a word. Et, wet. Eb, web. Ent, went. Ig, wig. Remember, G uses the g sound at the end of a word. In, win. We are going to use the x sound for all these words with the letter X. Axe, axe. Ox, ox. X, X. Ox, box. Ox, fox. Ix, fix. Ix, six. Ax, wax. Ix, mix. Let's try some phrases. You can either pause the video and do one phrase at a time and see how you do, or pause the video, do all the phrases on this screen, and then come back and listen. Remember, every letter X in these words is going to use the x sound. Ox, fox. In, box, box. Fox, in, box. Axe, wax. On, ox, fox. Wax on fox. Pet, pet. Ox, fox. And dog, dog. Pet, fox, and dog. Let's practice some words with the short A sound of a. At, fat. Flat, at, bat. At, mat. Rag, ag, bag. Ag, lag. Ag, tag. Notice the G always uses its first sound of g at the end of a word. Let's practice with some short E words. Short E has the eh sound. Now, although S has two sounds, s and z, at the beginning of a word, it always uses its s sound. So that's what we will use. Bet. Let. Get. Set. Ted. Bed. Led. Egg. leg. Ned, Ned. Notice how for sounds that can be held, I hold it like Ned, Ned. This makes it easier to blend rather than doing d with the gap in between. So if you can hold the sounds, which you can't do for all of them, but for the sounds that can be held, try holding them when you say it slowly to make it easier to figure out how to say it fast. Let's try short I words. I, p, ig, pig. Remember, G at the end of a word always uses its g sound. B, ig, big. F, ig, fig. D, ig, dig. G, ig, gig. R, ig, rig. It, hit. It, sit. B, it, bit. How are you doing? If you had any trouble with the previous lesson, please repeat that day or go back to a previous one until you get most of them correct. Let's practice some short O words. Short O has the sound of ah, log, log. Remember that G always uses its first sound of g at the end of a word. Fog, fog. Dog, dog. Pog, pog. Og, hog. Remember that CK together has one sound of k. Ok, rock. S always uses the sound of s at the beginning of a word. Ok, sock. Ok, dock. Lock, lock. Short U has the sound of Remember, at the end of a word, G will use its first sound of g. CK together have the sound of k. B, ug, bug. Ug, lug. D, ug, dug. Ug, rug. Uck, luck. Uck, puck. Duck, duck. Tub. Mud, mud. Let's review the sounds from lessons 6 and 7. W. Remember, the letter X has two sounds. Most of the time it's x, but at the beginning of a word it says z. X, z. W. V. X, z. V. K. H. V. X, z. If you're having trouble with these, please go back and redo lessons 6 and 7 until they're easy. Here are some new sounds. J, 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 j. Now right here we have two blends. That just means two consonants put together. St, 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 st. Pr, 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 pr. Let's practice some short words. Job, job. Jog. Remember, G uses its first sound of g at the end of a word. Jab, jab. ag, jag, jug, jug, ab, stab, ag, stag. A stag is like a deer. Stem, stem, step, step, top, top, stop, stop, stud, stud, stun, stun, prep, prep, prod, prod. Here are some phrases. You can either pause the video between each phrase and read them one at a time, or pause the video, read all of them, and then come back and see how you do. Sick, sick, fox, fox, in, box, box. Sick, fox, in, box. Stop, stop, dog, dog, and cat, cat. Stop, dog, and cat. Pick, pick, up, dog, dog. Pick up, dog. Pig, pig, on, steps, steps. Pig on steps. Log, log, on, big, big, pig, pig. Log on big pig. Cat, cat, in, box, box, on, step, step. Cat in box on step. How are you doing? If these are hard, please repeat this lesson or earlier lessons until you can get most of them right without too much frustration. Here are two new sounds. Q and U always go together. Or more clearly, if there's a Q, there's almost always a U after it in English spelling. Together, they make one sound of qu, which sounds like the letter K followed by the W. So QU is qu, 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 qu. Z, 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 qu, z, z, qu. Let's practice some words with these. Remember, Q and U together have one sound, and the same with C and K. Quick, quick, quid, quid, quiz, quiz, it, quit, quilt, quilt, zip, zip, zed, zed, zig, zig. Let's review the sounds from lessons 7 and 8. St, st, per, j, st, per, w, j, w, j, z, w, x, z. If you got most of these right, please move on. If you had trouble, please go back and redo lessons 7 and 8. The letter Y has many sounds. The first one we are going to learn is the Y sound, which is the consonant sound. The other sounds are all vowel sounds, but we're not going to cover them yet. So the consonant sound of Y, 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 ep, yep, Y, ap, yap, Y, s, yes, Y, et, yet, Y, up, yup. Let's practice some short words. All these words that start with an S will use the first sound of S, which is S. Sip, sip, sap, sap, and sand, up, pop, up, pup, in, int, hint, at, hat. Let's practice some phrases. You can either pause the video before each phrase and do one at a time, or pause the video and do all of them and then come back to see how you did. At, cat, sits, on, steps, at, sits, on, steps. Dog, pets, red, fox. Remember, X uses its first sound of X almost all the time. Dog, pets, red, fox. At, rat, picks, up, red, bug. Rat picks up red bug. Big, bug, on, red, deck. Big bug on red deck. 10, red, cats on bed. 10 red cats on bed. 10 men in box. 10 men in box. If this is all easy, you're ready for level 2. If you're still struggling, you may need to redo some of the lessons. Also, you can find on Don Potter's website a free phonics book called Word Mastery. I would recommend going through pages 1 through 33 of Word Mastery for more practice before moving on to level 2.